What if instead of nailing a green screen into your wall or having to deal with a huge, ugly green screen setup that is always set up in your apartment, you had a small, portable green screen that you could put up and take down in 10 seconds? It sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's actually not. What's up, guys? It's Ashney and welcome back to my channel where I teach you to pursue your dreams and learn to stream. I've actually already made a demo video that shows you everything about the web round. If you guys are interested in that, make sure that you click over here. But in this video, I specifically wanted to talk to the founder of the web round, Linda. She has an amazing story and she has really just done awesome things for green screens in the streaming space. I'm sick, so this is hard. So we're gonna do an interview with her. Make sure you guys stick around for after the interview and I'll give you a code so you can save some money on your own. If you guys don't know me, my name is ashnichrist. I've been on Twitch since 2012. I started streaming like late 2013, I believe. And I was full-time for 6 months, and now I create educational content to help streamers get better at streaming. So I am really excited. I love this project and I just love helping out in general. Linda here is absolutely amazing. I met her at PAX, oh no, it wasn't PAX South, it was RTX.
Yep, at RTX.
Yeah, in Austin this past, well, when was that?
Was it July? It was July.
I think.
It was July.
Okay, yeah.
July, yeah. Yeah, it was July.
Awesome.
That was the first gaming convention that we ever went to. Very, very fun and enlightening. New world for me.
Yeah.
I'm a nurse and a non-streamer and inventor, but I've invented a product that I guess is great for streamers, and it's just a wonderful new market. Kind of first introduced to it by a guy from One Up on Cancer, 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐄𝐒. He started asking me for the web around and getting me in there. He said you should go to RTX, and well, he actually asked me to for a DX racer chair, and I said, oh, what is a DX racer chair? So I look it up, and I had a pretty good year the year before with my web around. I was going on a huge trip, and I said, well, what is this DX racer chair? So I looked it up, and lo and behold, the headquarters are 20 miles down the road from me. And I went there and I met a great guy, Dan, and he works with me now too. So it kind of just all keeps falling into place,
That's so awesome. Have you guys done any work with DX Racer as far as like partnering together to provide some kind of like little giveaway package for people?
I just did one, I think over Christmas here with them, with Logitech, DX Racer, and us doing a little Christmas giveaway. So yeah, a couple of things. It really, you kind of got to work as a community and work together on all your projects, because and you doing what you're doing is great. You are doing educational for gamers, but for me it's kind of funny because I'm a little bit older. I'm a nurse, really had no tech background, and I just made this screen. But the calls I get every day and the things people ask me, it's like I'm having to learn. And what you do, what I want to, in our site, help people with, because this is gaming and streaming, but there's so many people being forced into the video market, from people my age to younger that are having to do it in their home, and they're like, hey, what do I do? How do I do this? So it's very great that you're doing what you're doing, and I'm sure it is a full-time job because everybody needs to know how to do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and there's this huge kind of exodus right now. I feel like that a lot of creators in every single age group are having to get on video to promote their products, and even more so, they're having to like create communities based around the things that they're making. So I'm curious, like, have you done anything to specifically grow a community with the web around? Like, how have you really tried to utilize the people that love the product?
Well, I've just, and along with Dan, have started doing affiliate programs to have people help promote me and in turn, hopefully promote them and give them more viewers on their site. That's the biggest one we're working with, are this streamers like that. I guess there's so many communities, because I had a meeting today with healthcare. Healthcare is a big video market, and like, again, you may be doing streaming, but everybody's streaming in their own way, and how are they going to do it? There's I did a whole virtual school. All the teachers are virtual, and they all have a background with the logo of their school on it. So I did a whole virtual school. So there's just so many. I guess I'm working with a lot of communities, and they're not even the prison systems, because they are allowed to Skype home every day. So
what?
I
actually didn't know that.
Yes. So then I had a huge company that helps prisons. It's called 𝐂𝐒. They, I guess, help with the different things people want to buy in the prison. So they got 𝐂𝐒 on theirs, and they're sending them out to all the prisons. I already sent it to several prisons, so that they have a background why they're Skyping home, instead of having visitors come in and be bringing probably paraphernalia and everything else into the prison. They allow them to talk like you and I are. So there's no more visits at the prison for a lot of these prisons. They're just Skyping. So they're community.
Huh. Do you feel like just using Skype compared to in-person visits is going to be like as fulfilling for prisoners?
Probably not at all.
Yeah.
But I bet it will become a safety thing. And I don't really know. Are they allowed to actually? I think in some they get to actually see each other and be by each other, but a lot of them, I think they're just behind glass anyway. So
yeah,
I don't really know. But what? It's the future. Just like everything you're doing. This is the virtual world we're moving to. Call centers, huge call center. I'm pretty proud of this, but Intuit TurboTax, they have all their operators are like Ubers or Uber. If they can get on for an hour, if they can do everything, they come on, and they send them all a Logitech camera, a web round, and a t-shirt. Instant operator, but they all have the same background. It's consistent, and that's a huge, like 10,000 people doing it. So they're all being forced to stream live. The customer doesn't have to be live, but the operator is.
That is so interesting. So how did you originally come up with the idea for this?
Well, so at first, I'm a nurse, and I work the night shift, and we have a robot with a regular screen on it, and there's got a big webcam, and the doctor runs it with a joystick from home. All of a sudden it comes unplugged from the wall, and he's driving down the hallway. And then he can see the patient can see him. And he always had, a messy room, kitchen or whatever behind him. And that's a late night. I said, you know what? He needs something behind him. And that's where it all started. And when I was 20, I invented a wipey warmer for baby wipes. I paid a lot of money to a company back then to, like they say, these invention companies. Well, they just took it for me and said, oh, you can't do anything. And 30 some years later, you can still go to the store and buy that product. So I was right. So when I thought of this, I said, I don't care what it takes. I'm doing it. I don't care if I ever only sell one. I'm going all the way. And I went all the way. I mean, you got it. It's hard work and determination, but.
That is so awesome. I love, just like when we met at RTX, I was so inspired by just how excited about everything you were, because you had never been to a gaming convention before or really seen the culture, and you were just like totally shocked by how large it was and how many people had kind of been around. So how do you feel like the gaming scene has kind of accepted the web around? Do you feel like the reception of it has been pretty positive overall?
I think it's very, very positive overall. And I think that WebRound's going to help the gaming community. It was quite interesting, if you're not from that world, to me, as I kind of like, I love people, and I'm always thinking about where their world's at. And I think about all those people there who, are comfortable with each other and okay to be there. And you think about gamers, they're all in the basement and nobody's talking to each other. And I think streaming and what you're learning is going to bring these kids into their own world, and they're going to be able to be seen and talk. They don't have to be alone just chatting. Maybe they can start, the community's going to be there. And maybe your room is messy, or maybe you don't have the greatest place, but you can pop this web around over your chair and you're able to chat and be seen and not worry about all that other stuff. Maybe you're not so proud of your apartment or your house, but it doesn't matter anymore. Just pop it on the chair and go live.
I love that. And I really love that about the web around too, is just like how portable it is, because I've had so many green screens, including just nailing a piece of green fabric to a wall, which was terrible. And this one I love so much because it doesn't take up a ton of space in my apartment, so I don't have to have this like giant ugly green thing just like set up at all times. I can collapse it at the end of every stream. It takes 20 seconds to put it away, and my apartment still looks awesome all the time. So I love how you kind of thought about it to that level. Like, can you kind of walk me through why you thought that it would be important for this to be able to be travelable? What am I trying to say here? Travelable, collapsible, portable.
Yeah, that is crazy because it's funny because I've kept everything, and I have the first pictures. I thought it would be something that would hook underneath the round part on the chair and come up and pop up. And I'll tell you the true story. We were going on a trip down to the Keys, met with my sisters from Minnesota, and I was just got this idea in my head, and I'm just like, thinking. And we were out on a boat in the middle of the Keys, and my sister was talking about, you should make it with that stuff that folds up. She said, like they make toys and things that fold up. Swear to God, there's something floating in the ocean, and we dig it out, and it is one of those things. It was like a kid's toy that, honest to God.
What?
Yeah. I always tell this story because it's like, it really did happen like that. So there we were, and she said, that's what I'm talking about. So after that, I came home, and my friend and I, we would stay up nights. We were working, and we were doing home care and working at the hospital, just workaholics. And we would buy things that folded up, like the sunshades or the different things, we'd tear them apart and try to sew them and try to figure out what it would be. Would it be round? Would it be square? What would it be, And I just remember laying there on the couch at 12 o'clock at night. She's on one, I'm on the other, going, oh my God, I said, if we were just engineers, we could figure this out, But we did, we took swimming suits apart, used the elastic. I mean, we just, homegrown. It was homegrown.
Yeah,
and
that's
how we did
awesome. I love that. So did you guys not use some big like developer production company over in China? I know a lot of people, when they're developing products, will usually go that route where they'll have test versions sent to them, and then they'll use it for a little bit and decide if they like it, and then send it back and get a different one. So you didn't have that process? We
did not have that process. And I did, honest to God, when you're doing this, you don't know that is a process. I mean, I've never been in retail or anything else where they would, it was like, how do you do this? And again, in Minnesota, the guy that built my first website knew somebody in this little town that manufactured furniture. And he said, maybe they can get it made. So I send this kind of first one we made over there, and they started to make them for me. I mean, it's just crazy. And and I think about it as like, what color were we going to make them? So what are we going to do? So we said, I thought, well, when you have pictures taken in school, right, there's always a gray or a blue background behind you. So I'm thinking, well, somebody's already did that study. That is the best color to be behind somebody when they're in a picture. So that's the science behind that. And then the green screens, I think, because we had it for a long time, and we would think about it, it's like, could you do that? And I would send some to people. I never hear back from them. I don't know what programs or what was happening. And I don't really know exactly what struck me, but my first ones that came in the country were March of this year with the green screen color, and I can't remember what made me finally do it, but it's changed the game for me. You know, I talk about, you know, the gaming and industry, and then there's a conferencing company called Zoom, and Zoom has chroma key built into their conferencing system. So I made what they had work. You know, they had this, but they really didn't talk about it because, you know, everybody doesn't have a green screen everywhere. I made what they had work, and that's just huge for them, and it's going to be huge for me.
That's awesome. I've actually used Zoom quite a bit, so
Yeah.
that's really great. Do you mind sharing any of the numbers with us, even as far as like how many units you were selling before it was a green screen, and then the like maybe percentage of how that changed after you implemented the green screen?
I can tell you that 2 years ago, I might send out 5 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm sending out 20 a day.
Oh my gosh.
90% of them are green screens. So I'm doing like, you know, 100 to 150 a week now. And 90% of them are green screens. So that's how much it changed my world.
That's huge.
It's huge. It's
That's huge.
exciting.
I'm so happy for you.
I know.
So what do you feel like the future is for the web around? What are you trying to do with it right now? What are the big plans that are kind of like boiling around your head?
Well, really working with the gaming industry is huge for us because I think there's so many people, you know, you probably know like these stats, but see, I've always been a researcher by nature, you know, a speed reader, you know. Now I haven't read a book since I've been out of high school. I can't sit still to read, but I like information. I think, was it Twitch started in 2011, and in 2014 was sold for, was it almost 900 million or something?
Yeah.
Is it
so?
Is it Amazon?
It was huge.
That's huge. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's 50 million people on that one site, 50 million, 2.4 million that stream all the time. I'm like, okay, if I can just get a little piece of that, right? You know, so I'm
Yeah.
numbers. I'm like going, okay, I got to hit this up. So that's a big thing for me. The medical industry and telehealth is huge. I am really trying to get down and figure out schools because I know like all the nurses are going on to be NPs, nurse practitioners, and all of their classes, even with the University of Michigan, are online. They don't go to school anymore. So even college is online. Okay. How I'm working this year on when I bringing up Zoom again, but you know, there's over 1,000 colleges that use Zoom. So if I can somehow get in there to them and say, hey, look, you can, you know, have the Spartan behind you or whoever you are, the other team in Michigan, but go green. You know, I mean, it's huge for the colleges to have these in schools, in any school, and even, you know, for the lower level schools, there's a lot more online schools. Kids are being homeschooled, online schooled. You know, if you have you know, if you're for a minute bringing your class together on the screen, and I think this is where things like, I don't know if this program, but I think like Lightstream is trying to do that, where they get, you know, multiple people on the screen and able to communicate. So if classrooms can do that and everybody can be seen, and even if you're a young kid at home and you got your brothers and sisters, that should be that child's time. You know, if you can get something behind that child to let them be in their classroom live while, you know, I think it's another huge industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think marketing is a big part of that. So how do you market the web around? How do you kind of get the word out about your product?
Oh, here comes the truth.
Oh,
Juicy. I don't do anything. It's all been word of mouth. I just had a call last Friday from a company, FedEx. They have 700 salespeople, and they are going to use video. That's the bottom line. They've had it, they're ready. The top down said, we're going to use this. So they use Citrix or Log Me In, and they said, well, what do you guys use? So they said, well, we've used the web around. So I have an hour call with this lady and send them some samples. So, you know, I always say, what if I did have a marketing plan, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Thinking, yeah, you know, it's funny when you say that, because I invented it, I got it patented, I got it manufactured in China, I import it, I do all the bookkeeping, I do everything, and then it came to this one piece, which was the most important piece, which was marketing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, you know, how do you do it? I've never even been in retail. What do you do? You know, I'd look up things and I'd try to learn, and I would go to companies here and they'd say, well, you know, if you, it's like they didn't understand it. So I was like, well, $100,000, which I didn't have at the time. And I'm thinking, well, I just can't do this marketing, right? I think my daughter has really started doing social media for me, which I think is the marketing tool to use, although it's not my part. I have to get people to do that, but I think that's the hugest in today's world way to market. It's not advertisements or, you know, it's getting the word out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the gaming community can be a real struggle to market to because they don't like traditional advertising. So right. Our community loves jokes and memes and just personality injected into any kind of advertising that comes to us. So I think that there's definitely potential for you guys, but you would definitely need to do it in a way that's going to come across as like very, very down to earth and very, oh my gosh, cute. How cute.
Gotta get that.
For podcast listeners, she just put her cat on the screen. So cute. But yeah, so I feel like that's definitely, you have a lot of potential there. Are there any other things that you feel like you're kind of struggling with as far as the business side of this goes?
I think I struggle with not really being a business person. You know, you got to learn how to do every piece of it, and it's like, you know, who do you hire? What do you do? I mean, and I think it's like, all the time I wanted it, and now it's happening, and it's like, I mean, because I'll tell you, you get stressed out when it all starts really happening. It's overwhelming, and you know, I'm trying to build a team around me that can help me, because it is bigger than me. You know, I mean, that's a big struggle. And who do you give what away to? You know, are they like you? Are they type A? Are they going to follow through? Are they going to do everything like you do it? You know, it's like this little. It is a huge struggle. You know, I think the other day I was really stressed out because I'm like, I get like 20 emails a day of people that I have to follow up with and all these things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I got to keep all of this straight. And yeah, that's a big struggle as you grow, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So whenever it comes to actually working with these influencers that have been just such a huge part of you building up the presence of the web around, what are some of the best practices that you've seen that have really helped people sell a lot of these units? I keep saying units like I'm some like
that's right, yeah,
businessy like fancy person, like, but
units, so much a unit. Yeah, I think I think that they see, Dan is really working with that, but I think I see a lot of tweeting, a lot of Facebook, a lot of things. So I think the more they say it and get it out there, and we're growing too with the affiliates, you know, learning things. I want to make sure they get credit for what they've done, you know, and there's got to be a way like to monitor that better than we do. We see when people use coupons and different things, but I think sometimes it may get out and maybe people go to Amazon, maybe they buy it without using a coupon. So how do I grow my community to let them get credit? Because I appreciate what they do. You know, it's very important to me.
Right.
I think this affiliate thing is going to be just fabulous for me. to get the word out. Again, it's using social media. It's a different kind of marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're paying for marketing, but you want to make sure whoever's working for you, you know, gets their credit for what they're doing, because it's the way to do it, you know. And I'm just a I don't know, person that wants, you know, I mean, I appreciate what's happening to me, and I want to share that with whoever's helping me, because it is a help. It's very important.
I love that. I love that so much. Shameless plug, guys. If you want to pick up the web around, you can use my code ashnichrist at checkout.
You do.
No, but really, I think that like you're doing great of marketing to gamers and not kind of throwing this in their faces, right? Yeah. So it's not a it's not you like trying to tell people, hey, buy this thing. Hey, don't forget about us. Don't forget about us. Instead, you're using everybody else to kind of get your product in the faces of their friends and the people that listen to them without you having to come across as being too salesy. So I think it's a great strategy.
And then the people we give, you know, all they feel it's one to use. So you can see, does it work? Doesn't it work? Does it help you? Doesn't it help you? If something helps you, it's a reasonably priced item that, you know, and like you said, you're full-time trying to teach people how to stream, what to stream, you know, I mean, if it's something that helps them, you know, like I work with my daughter Jessie and Dan, and that's what we want to get some kind of blog going to, because it is important, you know. How do you do some lighting? What do you do? I mean, we don't know. Everybody doesn't know. And if it's a simple, easy thing, hey, share it, you know, share it, and we can all share from it, and you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. So I have another question too, and this one is kind of a loaded question, because this is about how you feel about your competitor, which is the Elgato green screen that was released. So I'm curious.
Thing about that, I'm going to tell you right now that I was not affected very much at all about it. Now, the younger generation and things, they were very, very affected by that, and you know, it kind of got outspoken on their side, because if they know me, I'm not like that. I would not be mean or say things derogatory towards people. But the thing of it is we have two different things. Mm-hmm. It's the same, but it's different. It's just different, you know. I think about it is competition, and competition is good, but it's two different things. And I think they have their place, and mine has its place, and I think it's great for whichever one works good for you. You know, that's what I think about it. It's
yeah.
You know, I talk about the Intuit, which was a huge situation, because when they started, and I actually went and met the lady in Arizona, and they have a huge call room, and every one of them had a stand up. Theirs was just blue because that's their color, but they had a, you know, pipe fitted stand up, like the thing you use at the conventions, you know, you just pull it up, and each chair had one of them behind it. And she said, I'm going to tell you right now, if the fire marshal came in, they would shut us down, because if you all had to move quickly, that would be disastrous, right? They would all flip over. So it has its place, and I think there's larger streamers or people that stream, you know, it's their business. That's probably great, because they have a huge room, they have space, they, you know, they got a dedicated area. This is their studio. But for all the other people that are just the average people trying to get out and learn to stream and do this, I think my product's better for that. Reasonable, simple.
Yeah, I love that. It's very, it feels just very easy, you know? And I love that about streaming equipment, because so much about streaming is very complicated and very frustrating, especially whenever like you try to go live and you just can't depend on the stuff that you're using. So I feel like the web around is just something that is consistently dependable, and you always know that it's going to work. You always know that you can have it with you. You always know that it's just going to be the perfect solution for that problem. You're never going to have to deal with a ton of space. Like, what happens if these people with these large spaces eventually have to size down someday, and then the green screen that they're using that's taking up their entire apartment doesn't fit anymore?
Right.
You know, like this, I feel like this solution is just so it's so perfect and it's so easy and it simplifies the streaming process, which is,
And
I mean, if we could do more of that, if every product could be simple, that would be awesome.
That's what it is. Really, I think when you asked me about the community and everything, I think of my product more as the community. All the little people, anybody that wants to do it can now just simply do it. It's not complicated. You know, they can just pop it on and do it, you know, and it's a lot of younger people, and, you know, they just have their room. You know, that's the only spot in the house that's theirs, you know. There you go, pop it up. Even if you're not using it as a green screen, just maybe it's just a screen for today behind you so they don't see everything. It's just more for all those common, just everyday little streamers and that, you know. And the big streamers, when they're traveling, hey, you know, you can continue if you don't have your big room and your setup studio. You can still
That's
go.
a big thing that I love about it too, is just the ability to travel with it, because a lot of us go to so many conventions, but being away from your community is, I mean, it's kind of sad, like that you have to be away from all of your friends, but then also like, I mean, you have some there with you in person, but also just the fact that it's kind of show business. It's kind of the entertainment industry. It's just one of the sad truths is that whenever you're away, like, you lose your momentum. And when you stop showing up and you stop putting your face in front of a camera, people stop caring. And so I think that, like, the ability to still maintain the level of production value in your content, even though you're traveling and you're going to conventions or you're going to, like, have meetups somewhere or meet up with, like, maybe business partners or something, is just super on point, and I love that, and I'm so happy that you went that direction.
Anywhere you're at, just pop up. Hey, was at the convention all day, had a great time, these are the highlights, boom.
Yeah,
that easy you're going. Yeah,
that's amazing. If you guys have any questions in chat right now, I've kind of implemented them throughout the conversation, but if you guys have anything specific you've been holding on to, go ahead and let us know right now, and we'll get you. Bruce said, "Why is Linda one of the nicest people in existence?" Even when you're talking about your competitor, you're like, we both do great things.
No, it is. It's, yeah, and that's the truth. Everything has its place.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How many Christmas presents are you sending out, do you think?
Me?
Yeah. I feel like you're sending out a lot of Christmas presents right now.
Oh, I think so too. And that's why we've been sending out twice a day, just to be sure if there's any chance that it gets there, it'll get there. You know, right up till we can hit the post office at the last one, we're shipping.
Oh my gosh, you guys are doing all of your shipping too.
Yeah, Whew. Yeah. We run the web around out of our house.
Oh my god, what? How many like actual Weberons do you have just stacked up in your garage right now?
Oh, the garage is clean, but I have a big one of those big containers, those metal containers in my yard. I have 2 storage units, and headquarters is the basement.
Oh my gosh. You have storage units?
Yes, I do.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a question from Military Heart in chat, and she said, "Can you put it up with one hand?"
You can open it with one hand. Yeah, you could put it up with one hand. Yeah, because once you could just, you know, you got to open it away from you because it is loaded with spring steel. And then if you got one corner over the chair, you could just keep moving it. Yeah, you could do it one-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like the only problem you'd run into is actually folding it back up.
Would be, yeah. You could.
Yeah.
Honestly, you couldn't do that one-handed. That's a life lesson in itself, learning to.
It really is. It really is. You guys released a GIF on Twitter around TwitchCon, I think, that literally helped me fold it up because I'd had so many problems with it. It took me so many times to try and get this.
You gotta turn those wrists in. But yeah.
And actually, whenever I made that video about the web around, and I tried to demonstrate how I have problems folding it back up, but I did it right immediately. Just like the first time, I was like, how is this happening?
Once you get it, you get it. But it is a learned thing.
Yeah, for sure. We have a question from Rogue Scorpio, which is, what's the most creative use you've heard of for the web around so far?
I kind of liked the little thing Dan sent out for our affiliates, where it had it showed the chair and that kept changing the Christmas scenes behind it.
Oh, cool.
I saw that. That was pretty cool. That's boy, I think the gaming is pretty cool, because you know, you've seen the pictures with you. I mean, the game continues all around you. And interesting, when we were at TwitchCon, it works in the dark. So, you know, we didn't have any light, and it still works. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was incredible.
That was something we learned too.
Yeah. What other companies have you guys worked with?
Oh boy.
In gaming, at least.
In gaming?
Yeah.
Let's see. We are working with, oh my gosh. We worked with Lightstream. We worked with the One Up on Cancer, working with Logitech. Oh, let's see. That's what I can think of right now. Oh, oh my goodness, the shirt people. I'm gonna be bad. You know who I'm.
The shirt people, MetaThreads.
I'm bad. I'll give a shout out to them. So MetaThreads, they made our wonderful. Everybody loved our shirts at TwitchCon. So MetaThreads.
The shirt people.
I helped you.
I love that. I'm actually gonna call MetaThreads the shirt people from now on. Oh my god, that's amazing. We actually have the lead designer in chat too. So his Twitch handle is David_MetaThreads. David, I think you need to change your Twitch handle to David_shirt people.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
Yeah, that was incredible. Okay, well, I think we're pretty much done here. Thank you so much for meeting with me today.
My first live interview.
Yay! You did really good. You actually did really good.
All right. Well, it was fun.
Yeah, just wait, more are coming.
Oh. Great.
Zoom is gonna make you a millionaire, so you better get used to live streaming.
I tell you, I need to learn it and set it up and start doing it, right?
Yeah. I can teach you. I got your back.
You got me. Yeah, and that's what your whole job is, to teach us how to do this.
Yeah, it is. You did really great. Everyone's saying you did great. Aw.
Don't thank you.
They love you, Linda. They love you.
Oh, you guys are great. Great community. Love it
Oh,
all.
I love that. All right, I'll go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I'll make sure to email you everything.
Believe.
What is that?
Everybody has to believe. When you believe in it, it'll happen.
All right, bye, Linda.
Bye.
So that was Linda. As you can tell, she is just an amazing person, super incredible. Thank you, Linda, so much for coming on and hanging out with me. I really appreciate that. And if you guys want to save money on your own web around, you can go to thewebaround.com and use code ashnichrist for 10% off. Let me know if you've ever used a green screen down below in the comments, and if you're new here, slap me on the face right below this video for videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday on how you can pursue your dreams and learn to stream. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!